Hello everybody, my name is Sarah, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be doing a Recorder 101 session. Things to know if you've never played a recorder before, or if you have and you haven't played for a very long time. So I'm going to start with discussing posture. It's good to have good posture because it helps have relatively pain-free playing, along with also making it a little easier to play because you can breathe better, you can move better. So if you're going to be sat, sit up in your chair nice and straight, have your feet on the floor flat, and then relax your shoulders, relax your elbows, and then hold your recorder. So we're going to start with have your thumb on the hole at the back, your left thumb on the hole at the back. Then your fingers for your left go like that. Your left little finger doesn't do anything, so that can just be floating. And then your right hand goes on the bottom with your fingers going on there, and your right little finger does go for the finger holes at the bottom. Your right thumb technically doesn't do anything but support the instrument, so don't worry massively about where it is on the instrument. So then relax, and then your instrument goes on your lips. It just rests on the lips. It doesn't actually go in the mouth, it doesn't touch the teeth. If you put it too far in your mouth, it's just going to block up with condensation too quickly, and if you don't have it touching your lips properly at all, you're not going to get enough air through. So just, and surprisingly, because the recorder is a wind instrument, you're going to need to put some air through it. So air control is very important. So we're going to start with how to control the air in a manner that doesn't make it too sharp or too flat. So things I've noticed with students in the past, particularly little children, is that they tend to overblow or underblow quite a lot, and then not get any control of the instrument sound very well because they don't understand what's going on. So let's start with a little sort of singing exercise first. So breathe in, and as you're breathing out, sing a solid note and hold it. And again. So then we're going to try with the recorder. Pick a note, any note. It doesn't particularly matter for this exercise, just so long as you hold the note. So holding the amount of air you need to make sure it's a stable note, it's not going wavy all over the place, up and down. To demonstrate what you shouldn't do, so you don't want to be underblowing and making it sound flat, and you don't want to be overblowing. That's to the point it goes, possibly splitting notes and goes up. You want to be in a nice sort of middle ground where you've got a nice note that's just in tune and isn't going to go too flat or too sharp. So try again. And then in control of the wind way, once you've sort of got used to getting the note out nice and steady, we can go to tonguing, because you have to tongue in order to separate the notes a little bit to get some expression into your music. So breathe in, do, 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 do. So to tongue, instead of either hitting the mouthpiece with your tongue, which will just cause it to get condensation in the mouthpiece again, you're going to be touching your tongue to the sort of the mouth of your roof of your mouth even, and just saying do or tu or ta, and it's not going to be hitting your teeth, and it's not going to be sort of aggressive sound. It's very gentle. So do 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 do. And when you're ready, try that with the recorder. It's not stopping and starting the wind, which is something I've seen a lot of sort of primary school children do. They tend to go, which not only is it going to make the notes sound a bit uneven because they start really sharp and then go flat, it also tires you as a player out quicker than it does tonguing gently to stop the wind way that way. Once you've got the hang of those two exercises, we're going to move on a little bit and look at how to read a recorder fingering chart. So I've prepared a little aside video to edit in here, and if you have any questions or you have a recorder but you don't have a fingering chart, drop some comments in the comment section, or if you look at the manufacturer of your recorder and look that up on Google or whatever search engine of your choice is, it should come up with a fingering chart, and if not, they're generally fairly standard these days. It's just when you get into upper registers that things become a little bit different. Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a basic introduction on how to read a recorder chart. So most recorders, when you buy them, come with a little sheet of paper and a chart with a series of shaded in holes and not shaded in holes, and a load of notes underneath showing you what they are meant to be. That is your recorder chart. So I'm going to give you a little explanation on how to read them. It should be pretty straightforward, but it's always good to have someone help. Most recorder charts do tell you where your hand's meant to be, but the very top hole on a recorder chart is the left thumb, and then the next little segment down is for your left index, ring and middle finger, not in that order, index, middle and ring finger, and then the next segment down from there is for your right hand, which is for the index, middle and ring finger again, and then the little segment right at the bottom there is for your right little finger. So that is sort of where your hand's meant to go. As I said earlier, left at the top, right at the bottom. There isn't a hole for your right thumb on there because it isn't covering a hole and it's not making a note, it's just there for support. So this is an example of my Mollenhauer recorder fingering chart, and it's a series of holes. And another example with my Thomann fingering chart. You might notice at the top there that it's got G and B, so that tells you the German and Baroque fingerings alternatively. So if you're on a German, follow the Gs. And that's my German fingered recording chart for my German fingered recorder. You might notice on the German one there weren't any double holes at the bottom. So when a hole is completely shaded in, that means you cover that hole. So if we were going to be playing a G, I would expect the left thumb and the first three holes after that were to be shaded in black. When a hole is uncovered, the hole is just a circle without any colouring in. And then when you are half holing, which you tend to notice a lot at the top with the left thumb. You only half cover the hole, that's what you get. So for the double holes at the bottom, just to demonstrate, the covering of both of those would be that they were both shaded in. So that would give you a C if all of the other ones were shaded in as well on a descant. And then if you are half holing to get a C sharp or a E flat, you would only have one of those holes shaded in and not the other. It's usually the top one that's shaded in, not the bottom. That's what I was just checking. So that's another variant of half holing when you've got double holes on the recorder. So sometimes you will see things like forked fingerings on a recorder, which I am going to draw. I haven't included the thumb on this bit of the drawing, but assume that it's covered. So you would have your left index finger and ring finger covering holes, but not your middle finger, and then you would have your right index finger and sometimes your right ring finger covering holes to get you a B flat on a descant Baroque fingered recorder. I'm not going to demonstrate that right now, it will probably hurt earphone users' heads. I think that is everything covered about reading a recorder chart. If you do have any questions regarding reading the recorder chart, please put them in the comments and I will do my best to get back to you. And if I've missed anything, please let me know. So a couple of common problems I've noticed with sort of beginner players at least are things like blips, so where you've got I can't actually demonstrate very well. It's where your tongue and your fingers aren't coordinated, so your fingers move before you've tongued to get the note or vice versa, and it can cause sort of little blips between the notes as it's the fingering's changing. And to fix that, I would suggest just taking everything really slowly and just sort of doing it slowly as you can to coordinate everything, and then slowly building back the speed up. So that should help with blips. Leaky fingers, if you've got a note, say you're trying to get the D, if you're getting sort of a lot of air noises or it's fluctuating up and down like that was just then, just sort of go up the scale from that note or down the scale from that note. And just replace each finger and see if that helps. So if you've gone all the way up the scale and it's still not working, just take a few seconds, breathe, take your finger off the instrument and then go back, readjust your hands and then try and cover all the holes again. Because sometimes if you've been playing for a while, your hands get sort of in a certain position and they can stuck there, and if your hands have been sat in the wrong position for a while and you've learnt that position incorrectly, it can cause bad habits which cause leaky fingers. So try and cover all the holes quite nicely with your fingers to give a nice clean sound. The other thing is condensation. So quite nicely my recorder has condensed up. If you're in the middle of a performance and you're struggling to get notes out and it's sort of burbling at you a little bit, the best advice I can give you is to try and really quietly and good luck with that. Try and blow the water out the windway just by covering it a little bit and then blowing. No fingers on any of the other notes. It will sort of let out a hissing sound, so try and be as careful as possible. Some people are suggesting sucking back through the mouthpiece. I personally don't suggest that, just due to hygiene things. And I know if it's your instrument it's probably not a problem, but make sure you keep your mouthpiece clean if you're going to do that. And then when you've finished a concert, to clean it out, hand on the end there and blow through the windway. It should force any water to go out the recorder. Apart from that, with good hygiene, if you've got a plastic recorder, I would suggest washing the mouthpiece out with soapy water every now and again, just to make sure it's clean, because it can have build-up of things in mouthpieces, and it's good to keep your instrument in a good clean working order. And use a piece of cloth on a stick through the body of the recorder, so take this bit off and work that way up, just to wipe out any excess damp, because you don't want anything like mould growing inside your recorder. Wooden recorders need a little bit more care, which I will go through in another video. So what I'm going to do now is introduce a little piece, and hopefully if you want to, you can pause and rewind and make sure you've understood it, and hopefully you'll be able to play Ode to Joy at the end of this, or a snippet of at least. So we're going to start with B, which is first finger and thumb on the left hand, then C, which is middle finger and thumb, then D, which is just the middle finger, no thumb. I hope you can see that. So that's sort of your first little phrase. So and if you need to pause and rewind, please do so. Then we're going to go down the scale now, so we're going to go to A, which is index and middle finger and thumb, and G, which is the first three fingers and the thumb. So to break that down a little bit, we've got the first phrase, and then down, and then join all of those together. And then we have the second line, which is the same again, and then the next part. So I'll break that bit down again. So hopefully you're managing to keep up with this. Again, the notes are on the screen, and if you need to rewind or pause or anything, please do. But I'm going to put both lines together now and see if you can play along. And remember to tongue using do or ta. Don't stop and start the air unless you're breathing to regain air that you've lost. I hope that was sort of helpful and informative, and if you have any other questions about starting Recorder and anything like that, please do put them in the comments and I will do my best to get back to you. And I will see you in my next video, which is about German and Baroque fingering systems. So I will see you next time. Bye!